Hello viewers! This video is going to be a slightly different video from what I've done previously, as you might have surmised due to the variation in the title. Most of my videos have regarded what games I have already played that I think other people should play. This video regards a game I have not played yet, due to it not being out, that I'm looking forward to playing. I'll be talking about the game itself, impressions that I have, impressions other people have, and what we've seen so far from the trailers and news articles surrounding the game. Let's get into what we know so far about Octopath Traveler. Octopath Traveler is an upcoming game made by Square Enix and Acquire as a Nintendo Switch exclusive to be released, provided there are no delays, on July 13th. Very nicely placed for my birthday. It is a turn-based JRPG following 8 different protagonists, or I should say following the one protagonist you choose among the 8, although you can do all of their stories over the course of one playthrough. Octopath Traveler first came to my attention as I searched for games I thought I'd like once I got a Switch. For the most part, those games were from series I already had experience with, such as Mario Kart, Fire Emblem, or Valkyria Chronicles. Octopath Traveler, though, was the exception, because it is an entirely new game, and what caught my eye first about it was the graphics. The game's art is reminiscent of older sprite artwork found in the SNES system, and they term it as an HD 2D aesthetic. The project was first announced in January of 2017, and then a demo was released in September. The developers used feedback from that demo to improve the game. I've played the demo, which allows you to play about an hour into the stories of the characters Ulbrich and Primrose. It is clear that Nintendo is promoting the game heavily because of its prominent place in a couple recent Nintendo Directs. Additional character or gameplay-specific trailers have been releasing consistently, and there are rumors that more details will be revealed at E3. The story is unique for each character, and you can choose between the 8 characters for your starting point. One cool thing about the character names is that each one corresponds to a letter in the word Octopath, and has a unique class. Ophelia, the cleric; Cyrus, the scholar; Tressa, the merchant; Ulbrich, the knight; Primrose, the dancer; Alphen, the apothecary; Therion, the thief; and Hannet, the hunter. I apologize if I mispronounced any of those names. Each character has a command or path action they can do that helps move along the story related to their profession. Primrose can allure NPCs into following and fighting for her, while Tressa can use her path action Purchase to buy items not readily available to other characters. This mechanic appeals to me because it helps keep the story paths distinct in out-of-combat gameplay, such as dealing with quests. The story setup and characters also excite me based off of my experiences in the demo. I love me some good characters, and while Ulbrich's story was fairly generic, Primrose's was exciting and unexpectedly dark. I'm looking forward to learning more about these characters and finding my way through their worlds in vastly different ways. They have said through numerous trailers that it is the player's choice how to deal with the various tasks, side stories, and quests. These features, I hope, will bring greater engagement into the world and story of the characters, and I'm all for it if the game accomplishes that goal. Now, combat is, as I said earlier, turn-based. Your battles are mostly random encounters, and each character has various attacks and skills they can use. Enemies are weak to certain attacks, and if you hit them with those attacks enough, they will become broken, and you can deal massive amounts of damage to them without retaliation for a turn. You can also boost attacks to do multiple attacks and knock them down faster. There's a good variation of attacks, and once you get more party members, your options increase even further. The enemies, in my brief experience, are a little bland, with few exceptional skills that change up the random encounters. My impression of the later enemies, though, seems to indicate they may step up as the game progresses. We will have to see for ourselves. I like the combat system, especially on the player side, because of the give and take of how the special skills are restricted by MP and boosts are restricted by turns. I found myself making tactical decisions on random encounters, certainly a different experience than I have in some JRPGs. I have 2 points against the combat though. One, some non-boss battles last too long, making them dull. and 2, not being shown the health bars of enemies is frustrating. I can get over these. I've played games without health bars before, so it's not a deal breaker. I just would prefer health bars, so I have an idea of how the battle is progressing and how much further I have to go. Boss battles, however, I have no complaints with, at least the 2 I fought. They were exactly the challenging strategic battles I was hoping for in the demo. While lengthy, they tested me to the full extent of my knowledge of the battle system at the very start. Octopath Traveler does not seem to be pulling the punches other JRPGs have recently, and this has been noted by others who have played the game beyond the demo. While I wouldn't say Octopath is going to be very difficult, I would certainly say it'll be a challenge, which I'm okay with for the most part, so long as the difficulty scales properly. Another point in the boss battle's favor was simply how intense they were story-wise. Again, Primrose is more so than Ulberic's, but that's at least partially because her story had been more compelling. I wonder how powerful the bosses later in the game will be. It's good that they've given us tools, though, to combat them. I'll discuss those tools next because I'm looking forward to experimenting with the builds and customizability of the characters. You can purchase abilities with job points that expand your arsenal with each character, and additionally at some point in the game you can become a dual class. Alphen could become an apothecary merchant, for instance, expanding his actions and abilities and leading to some strange, but hopefully powerful combinations. I'm excited for these additions because it gives a greater amount of player input and experimentation into the game. They also seem to be quite potent based off of the recent footage that I've seen of these classes in action. One of my worries with Octopath Traveler is that despite the 8 paths, 8 stories system, that the game would end up feeling pretty much the same across each path. Hopefully, these custom unit builds can afford players an opportunity to diversify their path playthroughs, bringing something different to each path other than the story. One way I've already seen the paths differentiate, though, is through the presentation. The art is not for everyone's taste. I've seen people complaining about the art style, which at times is grainy or dark, making exploration sometimes difficult. I did not encounter too many difficulties in these areas, but I do understand the complaints. I personally liked the art, both environment and character. It's a style I haven't seen in games for a while, and the muted colors don't take away from the feeling from certain environments. As I hinted at before, I also like how distinctive the art is between the different settings, while still holding true to an overall artistic experience. The contrast between light and dark feature quite prominently, and I simply enjoy looking at the game. From the frozen landscape found in Ophelia's path to the desert warmth of Primrose's, each scene is a treat for the eyes, in my opinion. Musically, this game has an amazing soundtrack. I've listened to some of the tracks on YouTube and also listened to it during the game, and my lord is this a quality soundtrack. The character themes, like the characters themselves, are unique, using a wide range of instruments to convey the varied emotional themes of each character. The same is true for the setting pieces, with each location having a personality within the music. The background music is pleasant without being overpowering, the boss themes are intense, and I feel this will be one of those games where I will sometimes just stop and listen to the music. It's that good. Now, this aspect of games is something I've not talked about in games previously, but I feel I should note here, and that's the voice acting. Much of the game is voice acted, and I found it certainly added to the story and characters. The acting for the most part is solid, although the voice acting for the children is about as good as the voice acting for children in any video game. That's to say, not particularly good. The main characters, though, that I have heard have been nice, and hopefully that will be the case for the other characters. And in the moments of the stories that demand greater gravity, I hope the actors will accomplish that and show their depth of acting. If the performance holds up, that adds another impressive element to the game that already seems to be shaping up excellently on many fronts. Here then are the reasons listed out of why I'm excited for Octopath Traveler. A uniquely told story with hopefully strong characters, certainly possible if Primrose's story is any indication, a well-constructed battle system that challenges the player, a job system that offers opportunities for experimentation, a great musical score to journey along to, a throwback art style that still manages to work in the modern gaming era, and a development team that seems genuinely interested in player feedback and giving the best gaming experience possible. These are all the encouraging signs for the quality of Octopath Traveler, and are the reasons why I intend to pick up a copy when it is released in July. I could be mistaken, but I do not think that will be the case. You'll probably hear about it either way though, so if you want to hear those thoughts, subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoyed the video and want more videos like this one. In any case, have a good day and happy gaming.